The essential part of a nonprofit is to be an essential service to the community. That is the nature of serving. One of the steps that we had to do was show that we were viable and we were actually something the community needed. My name is Richard Hicks. I'm the CEO of Inspirededu. Inspirededu's birth came from a national nonprofit that started in 2007 in the Atlanta area, and there was a focus around take IT home and being able to bridge the digital divide in schools. Through that national organization, we were able to start really honing in on the community, and we spun out from that national organization in 2020 to create Inspirededu, where Inspirededu is a community-based organization that bridges the digital divide, focuses on making sure that learners from all ages have these digital skills to be education and career successful. When we were starting that sort of spin out, the community needed the resource, they needed the training, they really needed the focus around digital skilling and providing these technology resources. And what we do is provide avenues for those learners to get the resource, get the training, and we support it on the back end.
Digital literacy is, in essence, it's mission critical to our everyday life as people want to engage in new opportunities, job opportunities. I always equate digital literacy and the need for digital literacy with economic empowerment and economic mobility. They are interdependent, and so thus it is a requirement for our organization to continue to stay in the fight and to stay focused on something that makes a difference in the lives of others.
We continuously want to grow and be impactful, and also from the sustainability piece, to be able to repurpose these different devices that are technically what we call end of life into, educational tools for families and adults. Hi, I'm Marcus Hicks. I'm the technology manager at Inspirededu. My role at Inspirededu is to provide technology resources to support our programming infrastructure and providing desktop and laptop technology for them. So our technology team consists of 6 members that have what we call Tier 1 troubleshooting and Tier 1 experience, where they get technology donated in and refurbished, and with their expertise, we're able to turn business machines into home learning centers for families and adults. Our EcoSpark program is an initiative where we engage with corporations and individuals to donate said technology, and to Inspirededu and my team in turn refurbish said technology that we can again distribute out to the families and adults with their digital literacy journey. We do an outreach to different corporations, not only local but nationally, and we ask them what do they do with their e-recycling, which is a term that's used for technology that has reached its end of life, and we in turn ask them to donate said technology to Inspirededu. We have partnered with a e-recycler, Beyond Surplus, that is also our courier, so he's the coordinator of getting said technology to Inspirededu. We've also partnered with My Freight World Brokerage to allow us to get technology from all across the U.S. This makes it an easy lift for us to get technology transported. So we manage the technology distributions by, idealistically, we like to provide like mobile devices to families, and also consider as a mobile device as a laptop, where individuals, if they're on the move or if they're can go to a library or go to a Dunkin' or different places to use the internet. They don't have to carry an entire desktop station. So laptops are the key component to the digital learning. We do also take in desktops where we can build labs for different families and different organizations, as well as we have tablet refurbishment, where we pretty much present tablets to organizations that especially work with children, and give them a little bit more flexibility in their learning. And also we get a lot of accessories that get donated. When we get mice and keyboards, we're able to give different accessories away to help support families, whether they already have a desktop that may be a little bit older. We try to repurpose it and different little things like that. So the biggest thing that I've seen from the EcoSpark program is where we started in the initial year. We served, I think, close to like 1,200 families, to now we're reaching close to about 3,000 families, hopefully by the end of this year, to support their digital learning journey with our e-drives and our EcoSpark. We've been able to pretty much divert close to 247,000 pounds of e-waste away from landfills and converted that into technology resources for families and adults that really weren't able to obtain that. We're very proud of that, and the team loves supporting that and engaging with the community. 90% of our work is outside the community and meeting people where they are. So one of the marquee special events that I enjoy with my team that we're able to do as an organization to support is the launch of our community family learning workshops and our community adult digital literacy workshops, where we host twice a month, where families can actually come to Inspirededu and get technology resources and education.
Our workshops start early in the morning, around 9:30, and we make sure we're there by 8:30 to do prep, right? We do a run of show. So we make sure we meet, we communicate, and we talk about everything that we need to talk about before the actual start of the workshop. My name is Tara Merriweather, and I serve as the Manager of Programs for Inspirededu. As the Manager of Programs, I oversee the whole productivity of the workshops that we have in the state of Georgia. We are all over the counties. What we do is we set up workshops, and these workshops consist of what we call our Learning Spark initiative. So Inspirededu really leads the Learning Spark initiative, and it is broken down into three components. We have our adult digital literacy. When we're talking about our adult digital literacy program, we partner with companies such as Bridge Inc. or City of Refuge. What happens is that we go to their locations, we go and we set up, and we just make sure that we have a registration process. So we make sure that everybody is there. We start at a certain time, so we want to make sure that everybody gets there on time. We have refreshments, and it's just overall coordinating, make sure that the Wi-Fi and everything is connected. And then once we get there, we can start the presentation. So we facilitate the adult digital literacy to the learners, and it's about 2.5 hours of a workshop. And we're talking about so many things when it comes to digital literacy. We talk about the components of AI. We talk about the components of Microsoft Office. We talk about the components of your actual laptop, your device, and so many things that we just continuously do. So this initiative, it also helps, with people finding jobs, also with, careers, just basically learning other avenues to increase the growth of digital literacy. And then we have our family learning workshops. For our family learning workshops, we have our young children, of those ages, starting at 4, elementary age, middle school age, high school age as well. And then we have our families to come and intertwine with them to learn about activities and things of how to utilize their devices and things that the parents need to know when it comes to using their devices, so that way they can either help their children or the children can help the parents. So either way, it's a win-win situation, and it's also a way for the families to get together and to learn things together as a family and as a community. And we also have our STEM. STEM works both ways. You have, even though we're in the classrooms, working with our STEMs, we kind of look at the curriculums of the school systems as well to just kind of see how can we also add to that with the children or the students or the learners to increase their STEM components. So we want to add like more activities that they can do, just projects that they can learn and even learn together either as a family or either as the adults when we do our STEM presentations. So those are basically, they're different, but they also, if you sum it up, everything is about community and just working together. Once we have completed the initiatives with the Learning Spark initiative, it doesn't stop there. It's always a learning that we are trying to do continuous, not a learning curve, but we call it to increase the skills that we have already learned from the digital skills before. So we have our bridge to technology, and we're just basically adding on to what we've learned from the Learning Spark initiative and with the adult digital literacy, with the family learning workshops, with the STEM.
We built that program in a sense that there have been technology, digital divide initiatives that are doing good work and have gone across the state, but we can't let the chapter end with just providing them a device. So the vision of Inspirededu is to be that additional training these learners can receive without having barriers, because their journey of getting these skills is not going to stop. And what we have to do is provide sort of that road that they can get to sort of some training around financial wellness. People have to actually know how to be better at their finances, and sometimes technology can be that sort of conduit to help them with that. The other piece is Inspirededu is wanting to be a part of these cohorts and these initiatives so that people can find jobs or being able to have them get skilled, because budget line items and things like that you don't control, so you can't overpromise and underdeliver. What we want to do is be a part of the cohorts and initiatives that can kind of create a pathway for people. That's what you can do, because their journey in life is not something that you can control. That's something that they have to basically control and have the resource to obtain what they're looking for. Their goals that they set for themselves are the goals that we want to be a part of that journey to help them accomplish.
One of the things I love about Inspirededu is that it's a multi-generational organization in terms of its impact. I'm Erica Moore. I serve as the Executive Director for the STEM Funders Network, but I am a proud board member of Inspirededu, and I'm really energized and excited to become the incoming board chair who will be serving for the next couple of years. I've been involved with Inspirededu for quite a few years, even technically before they were Inspirededu. So a longtime friend and champion of the organization. Since 2020, we've supported 20,000 individuals, families, students who have benefited from the workshops and the computers and the support that comes from Inspirededu.
So we understand a lot of families don't have reliable devices and digital access. And so that being a crucial part of Inspirededu's mission is, it certainly allows us to target the right communities with the resources that we have. My name is Will Wesley. I am a social impact professional or social impact leader. And I'm also an executive board member of Inspirededu. I work for the largest credit union in Georgia, Delta Community Credit Union. And in the work that I do day to day, I manage our programs. So our strategic partnerships and community investment strategy. I found Richard on LinkedIn. 2020, during the pandemic, once I learned about Richard, and he just had a variety of posts on his page, I said, hey man, I shot him a quick message and said, hey, we should have a conversation because I think our organizations could partner up. Originally just started as me just being a part of the organization, volunteering in any way possible. But it grew. I was able to bring Inspirededu back to my organization and say, hey, these folks are doing great work. We need to invest in them. And that's exactly what we did. And so through that work, obviously through a lot of advocacy, I was able to direct funding to them in the form of a grant. And as I mentioned before, financial literacy, and I would tell Rich this all the time, that digital literacy is hugely important, but we have to marry it with financial literacy. And he agreed, and through more strategic planning, he realized that we could also utilize, or Inspirededu could really utilize our financial literacy program. And so we started down that track, and me being one of the primary facilitators of our financial education content, I was able to come in and really, even whether we were at the headquarters or out in the community, I was able to facilitate a lot of our financial education content to also assist and marry up with the digital content or the digital literacy that Inspirededu was executing on. What we want to do when we conduct a financial education workshop is, it's always my goal that people leave better than they came. And I think my process too is to really just make the information relatable. When I'm in front of folks, I'm really a storyteller, and I'm being very transparent about all the mistakes that I've made in my life when it comes to financial literacy. But I think what it does, it makes the information relatable, and it makes people feel like they can actually execute on it. And I think, through the information that we've gathered from people that attend those seminars, I think they feel as though they've learned something that they can execute on, or that's applicable to their lives. And one of the ways that I think we measure success is a lot of those people come back. And my process really is just to sit down with Rich and his team and really try and map out, from a scheduling standpoint, how we can get in front of folks, how can we make the largest impact in terms of butts in the seats and people logged in when we are actually conducting these workshops. We're all passionate about the work of digital literacy and digital access, but if you're not meeting the people where they are and really listening to what they need, then you're really kind of missing the mark.
At Inspirededu also, we partner with Microsoft, we partner with CGI, to add those STEM components to our workshops. So we have our facilitators, we talk about, what's important, and, we kind of do our workshops in different ways. So it also depends on the partner, what they're looking for. And so we try to just compile those things together and create a beautiful piece of a facilitation that our trainer can facilitate, so that the learners can really understand this is what we're doing, how we're doing things, and so that way they can really grow. And we also have like our Wi-Fi with the Lift Zone that we're partnered with Comcast. They can always come to our facility. If anything that is needed, we will be able to help. If there's an issue with laptops or just anything of sort, just any type of technology issue, we have our digital 404 navigators to really work on those things. So that's why it's important to have lab hours. You have a device that you came and you went to our workshops, we would definitely replace it for you, at a period of time once there's an issue. So we like to make sure we keep our word and honor that. How it works with our partners, we sit down, we have a meeting. We either do it on Teams, we do it in person, and we just basically iron out any difficulties, dates, times, when can we host these workshops, and it's just all about the logistics. And sometimes with the learners, they want us to come here and come to our facility, but a lot of times they want us to come there to their facility, because we work with people who don't have transportation. And so with that, we wanted to make sure that we as a team, to make sure we have everything that we need to be successful in that, to continue with that partnership. And so we will also still continue to maintain, more partnerships in the future.
As we look to the future of Inspirededu, it is truly focused on expansion, like expanding into other cities like Columbus, for example, or ensuring that we're continuing to build upon the number of Georgians that are impacted by the efforts of Inspirededu, 47 counties and growing.
In 2025, we have served over 2,900 learners that have come through our program. We have serviced over 1,800 laptops distributed within the community to those families and learners, and we continue to do that work. And since our inception in 2020, we have served over 10,000 learners with laptops, trainings, support hours, being able to make sure that the community is thriving under these digital skills.
So continuing to build upon that and to grow those numbers and ensure sustainability not only for the organization, but that digital literacy truly becomes a very definitive footprint for those who are, under-resourced and don't have access, ensuring that that access becomes steadily more available beyond the numbers and beyond the impact that we've already had an opportunity to achieve. I believe there are 3 ways that individuals can get involved with Inspirededu directly or even from kind of a tangential, type of way, right? So the first is just awareness, just increasing their awareness, understanding the facts regarding digital literacy, and then being a champion and advocate for that. With funders, making sure that the community, and again, the Georgia community is aware of digital literacy or the digital divide that's still very present. That's absolutely one way to be involved, and because through awareness, people can be engaged and they become informed. Another way is through donations. Physical donations of computers that they can donate to Inspirededu that again can be refurbished and repurposed and placed into communities where that's a challenge, having access, and for full families. And the third way is being digital navigators or mentoring and volunteering their time. We have workshops, family workshops that happen, and being available and being in place to help those who are trying to enhance their digital skills, transferring their knowledge and their capacity in that way. So those are the 3 ways that people can give, donate, and support Inspirededu as we work to focus on mitigating the digital divide that still exists.
Inspirededu is going to be doing more around the state. Like, there is a vision around digital hubs where we can create centers in partnership with other community-based organizations, maybe going and creating a facility on our own that people can access the technology resource, the training, and get connected so that we can be in the good fight of connectivity so that we're not scrambling around like we did with COVID-19 and letting it put us on our knees.
Inspirededu is definitely thinking forward. It's thinking about here's what's needed immediately, but to ensure that someone can have economic mobility, can have a sustainable lifespan, what are the other elements that are critical to that and that close the gap? So I'm truly excited that we are expanding our service portfolio of offerings to the community and thinking about them and putting them first. They are center to everything that we do.